William, how are you?
Good, very good.
Well, before we start talking about lions, I'd like to go back for just a moment. Do you have maybe one or two particular memories of music from when you were younger? Maybe your first memory or something that really stood out for you?
Yeah, I think one of the earliest ones would have to be my dad playing organ at home. He was a pipe organ player, classical player, and it's one of the loudest instruments you could ever have. And when you put it inside of a house, it's very resonant, just huge and loud. And it sounds weird, but I remember falling asleep to him playing. He would play real late, and I think it was either like you were going to stay up all night or you were going to eventually fall asleep. So as I got older, I kind of, you'd almost like wait. I would wait for my dad to start playing, so then I would, fall asleep to that sound. I got used to it so much. And my mom's singing too. My parents are both musical, so she has a real pretty soprano, real high voice, and she would always sing these James Taylor songs and old folk songs and stuff. So it was really pleasant. I was very lucky. It was like having a kind of a little concerts every day in your house.
Well, you had a very musical family.
Yeah. I mean, nothing professionally. It was just for fun. It was. They were both really talented, but they just did it because they enjoyed it. I think it gave them a lot of peace, and it was kind of something that we all eventually got into. It's easy for a family to get very spread apart, so it was nice to have at least one thing that kind of drew all of us in together.
Did you ever try to play the pipe organ yourself?
Yeah, I did, and we would get in trouble. And my dad actually had a key. There was this wooden frame that slid down over it. Like a piano has kind of a the cover. The organ had this one that was arched, and it would close, and my dad locked it every time. He wouldn't let us play it. So there was a few times where he had forgotten to lock the key or left the key in the thing. So my brother and I would, we couldn't even reach the pedals or anything, but we would stand up there and make these awful noises. But that was always fun. He lets me play. He has a small one in his home he lives in now, so he lets me play that. But I never got to play the cool one, not the big one.
And then you have gotten better since that point?
Not really. Not in the organ. It's still kind of like just doing. You give me a guitar and I'm fine, but I haven't gotten much better. They're really they're complicated instruments. He's doing all the foot stuff, and it's got the the several tiers of. He's all doing this stuff, and it's really cool. He's a lot better than I am.
Well, both of your parents were blind, I believe.
Yeah.
This emphasis, I assume that then originated the emphasis on sounds instead of visuals.
Yeah.
Was this very shaping for you as a young boy?
Yeah. I think it's. I can't say what would have happened were they not blind, because they were. But I don't see any reason why I would have played music if it weren't for them. Because it was all around us, man. It was great. Every person has both positive and negative associations with their family. It's what happens. And so many of my positive ones there's always music involved, whether it's, at Christmas, it's like my grandmother would sit at the piano and play Christmas songs, or, anything, man. Most of the family things ended with us all sitting around singing like a bunch of idiots together. And those are warm memories, and I like being able to feel that myself when I perform, and I like to give those feelings to other people. It feels great. It's just it's kind of selfish, but I really enjoy those kind of warm, nostalgic, memories, and that's because of them. Yeah.
And that's why you basically went into music as well, to be able to spread this feeling or have this feeling.
I think I never stopped, because of that reason. I mean, even if I wasn't getting paid to do it, I'd still be at home playing the guitar and messing around with, recording stuff. I always loved that, even before I was able to, fly to different countries and do it. I always thought that was a blast. Yeah, no, it would always be a part. And if for some reason I am no longer fortunate enough to do this at some point, I won't be selling any of my guitars.
Right.
I think I'll be playing until I can't move my hands anymore.
Well, there was a point as you started to go to college where music was put aside for a little bit.
Yeah.
This interest in psychology, was this cultivated along the same time as you started getting into music, or was this something completely separate?
It was cultivated from coming from a kind of fucked up family, which everyone's is, sort of, No, I had a lot of problems, and so I found something that said it could fix me, and so I went full force into that. I said, oh my God, this is something that can make me feel better, or I understand, why I feel like this sometimes. And I loved it, man. I thought it was amazing. It was so interesting. And the first class I took, the first day, I knew that's what I wanted to do, be a counselor, And music was always a part of that too, because I didn't know it at the time, but when I would listen to a Joni Mitchell record or something, it was, I was feeling things that I needed to experience. You listen to Blue or something like that, and you'd feel really sad, and that would feel good because I felt really sad sometimes. So, it's its own form of therapy for a lot of people, not just for me. So those two things have always kind of worked really well together for me.
Well, you mentioned that you felt you needed fixing. Do you know why you felt this way?
Well, because I did really badly, and two, because I was raised in a home that valued insight, and it was okay to be emotional and to be honest about that stuff, Not with my dad, but with my mom's a very emotional, honest person. She's like the cool mom that you can tell, if you did something wrong. She's gonna be really pissed, but you can tell her. You know what I mean? And so it was just that atmosphere. And so I guess when I even like the first time I sat down with somebody and with, as a therapist, it didn't feel weird at all. It felt totally natural. I was like, no, this is what we do. I've been doing this with my friends and my mom for, 10 years already. So it's just that I'm just doing it with a stranger now, but same stuff. Let's talk about what's going on. You're getting divorced, and that sounds awful. Tell me about that. Tell me how you're feeling. That kind of stuff. And I loved it. I didn't love people feeling bad, but I loved getting to talk with them about it.